Okay. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I'm going to do it anyway. I'm just going to probably ramble, but that'll be okay. So a lot of people have been asking me, I get this question a lot, not that like anybody cares about my opinion, but I'm going to give it anyway. I'm going to scream into the void. A lot of people ask my opinion about the current political state. It is currently Wednesday night, September 3rd, 2025. So the current state, if you're watching in 100 years, the current state is that Donald Trump is the president of the United States. That's awesome. Okay? Everybody asks me my opinion. That's my opinion right off the bat. It's awesome. It's a Trump 2.0. So everybody understood that Trump 1 was like super cool. And then, 2020 happened and that sucked. But then you kind of were like, maybe he was meant to suck, And now 2024 happened and it was like, now I'm happy. Now meant to suck. So I was thinking about that because I was thinking about the differences between Trump 1, Trump 2. And, again, people have been asking my opinion on how I like, because I think we're going into a very, very strange era for a lot of people. A lot of people are afraid, are very scared of what's about to happen or what's happening. Understandably. But my opinion, and I know this is going to seem harsh, but they just don't have the fortitude to survive, okay? They're not going to make it. Everything is really good. People don't realize how good it is, and they're going to be scared for a long time. That's okay, right? And I'm going to tell you why that's okay. So, I know that I'm not doing the Jordan Peterson thing and cleaning my room up before I criticize the world. Okay, that's okay. I'm currently living in my old high school bedroom. Life has its twists and turns, right? But look, we're saving up for a house. We're going to build a house. Okay, it's all going to work out in the end. It's just a couple years of being back home with mom and dad, all right? That's kind of how the Trump presidency is right now. We're all going to be shoved back home with mom and dad for a few years, but then we're going to graduate and we're going to get our own house, okay? That's all. All right, so we're all good. So we're all clear. Again, haven't cleaned my house up, haven't cleaned my room up, but I am criticizing the world. I don't care, Jordan, all right? So, got my trusty KJV Bible out. And I was thinking, because I read Proverbs a lot, it's very easy. Proverbs is a very easy book to just read one every day, because you could read the day that it is. Like today, I could read the third proverb, and that's today, right? And then, so it works out really well. But today is not, I'm not going to talk about from Proverbs chapter 3. I'm actually going to talk about Proverbs chapter 25. In Proverbs chapter 25, in verse 4, it says, "Take away the dross from the silver, and there shall come forth a vessel for the finer. Take away the wicked from before the king, and his throne shall be established in righteousness." There's a lot more to this passage, actually, and these are a couple verses that really meld well together. Proverbs is not usual for that. Usually it's like one-off proverbs, but these all kind of work together. There's more in this context that would be great to talk about kings, but specifically I want to talk about this. Take away the wicked from before the king, and his throne shall be established in righteousness. Now, you're probably saying, Donald Trump is not a king. He's not a king, and he's not righteous. There's no way he's righteous. Okay, yeah, well, the Holy Roman Empire wasn't Holy Roman or, an empire. Whatever. The point is, the reason there is a marked difference between Trump 1.0 and Trump 2.0 is because 1.0 was still dealing with the problems of the old guard, rhino establishment, sucking away his strength, and his own party fighting him, right? Dragging him down. He had all the snakes in his administration, and he was plagued with lawfare, whatever. right? You have a 4-year gap in which he makes the largest political comeback probably in American history so far. And then now I think he was quoted as saying once, like, now he knows who's good and who's bad in the administration, right? Now, if you can believe, the dross has been sucked away, right? Now it's perfected his administration into very specific plan. And those plans pretty much involve enforcing the border, immigration moratorium, and then remigration of illegals. Those 3 things combined to put our country kind of back in shape as far as like sucking away the fat and the illegal people, freeloaders. That is very hard for people to accept, and even me mentioning it in the same video as saying I read the Bible is going to make people think that I'm a terrible hypocrite. I don't care, because the dross of Trump has been sucked away. He is singularly focused on the most important thing that will fix the country. And I bring this passage up because so many people don't give him the benefit of the doubt, right? That you should. We talk all the time about how you should submit to authority and how you should submit to government, and the government is there ordained by God. But then as soon as the orange man gets into office, then it's a different story, and he's, oh, this is a punishment from God, and we shouldn't have to deal with this, and he's evil, blah, 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 blah. The truth is, and this maybe needs to be a rant of its own, America is dying. And the biggest part of that dying is that Americans are being replaced. Because if you really believe in the providence of a nation, you understand that a nation is a people in a place. And if those people are replaced in the same place, they are swapped out with somebody else, Indiana Jones style, swapping the sandbags, right? It doesn't stay the same nation. We're not a propositional nation. We're not a nation of ideals. Because if we were a nation of ideals, we could transplant those ideas to someone else's nation and it would be the same nation, right? They did that. It was called Liberia, and it's a failed state. 1-for-1 constitution, but different people. It's not America. America has always been a WASP nation, a white Anglo-Saxon Protestant nation. Saying that makes people very, very angry. But that is the truth. That is what America was for. Nobody right now in government represents those people. Me specifically, white, Anglo, Saxon, Protestant, Baptist, whatever. I mean, I think they're different, but that's another rant. But those characteristics of mine mean that there is absolutely no one in government right now who advocates for my interest. If you're black, someone will advocate for your interest. If you're Jewish, someone will advocate for your interest. If you're Somali, somebody will advocate for your interests. If you're white, you get nothing. You pay the bill. And that would be okay if I was getting what I was paying for. And I'm not getting what I'm paying for. None of this money that I spend my taxes bill on, and I don't even pay that much taxes. I'm like low level, right? None of the money that we spend our taxes on goes to anything that's worthwhile, right? Maybe you could say the infrastructure, but it's like 10%. And even then, have you seen the state of our roads? Anyway, that's pretty much the problem, the biggest problem facing America. the replacement of its people. There are other smaller problems, and we can fix those after we fix the main problem. And that's why Trump 2.0 is so good, because he's laser focused on fixing the main problem, which is the replacement of our people. Anyway, take away the dross, a vessel for the finer. Trump 2.0 is better because he is focused on fixing America at the most important point. All of the other situations we can deal with once this one is fixed. There's also another verse that I was thinking of. Proverbs 20, verse 8. And Proverbs 20:26. Proverbs 20, verse 8 says, "A king that sitteth in the throne of judgment scattereth away all evil with his eyes." Sitting in the throne of judgment, scattering away evil by just looking at it. And then Proverbs 20, verse 26 says, "A wise king scattereth the wicked and bringeth the wheel over them." Now, the question is, are the people that Trump is bringing the wheel over wicked? And the answer is, if you're coming into this country to take and not to give, you are wicked. Realize that the reason we are so good is the same reason that JFK used to gild us in the 60s, right? Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country. The reason we're so good is because all of these people didn't ask. We just did things for our countrymen. But now our country is becoming something else because we're being replaced by other people. And whether that's good or bad, you wouldn't do this to any other nation. You wouldn't go to Indonesia and say, well, we need to really replace these Indonesians with Japanese. It's like, well, no, like they had Japanese have Japan. Well, but in America, anybody can live in America. Well, yes, but then it's not going to be America, is it? So this terrible rant that will probably get me fired from every possible job I could ever work. That's the reason why Trump 2.0 is so much better and why I love it. Because at the end of the day, yeah, I maybe can blame myself for my situation, right? Everything that's happened in my life, the Lord has been gracious. And I have way more. I am sitting in my childhood bedroom with a messy floor and all my stuff shoved into it with a bed that's not even on a bed frame. I'm sleeping on the floor. That situation sucks, right? Do I have money in the bank? Yeah, kind of. Do I have a house right now? Not really. Hopefully I will in like a year, 2 max. So it's a hard situation right now. And yeah, a lot of people could blame me for that situation. And I would be apt to blame the world and say, no, it's everyone else's fault. But, I don't want to do that. I want to take responsibility for myself. I am where I am right now, regardless. But I'm working to improve, right? But the truth is that improvement has been kneecapped in lots of ways by sorry, my brother just made like weird sound outside the door. That growth has been kneecapped in lots of ways by the administrations, by the policies set by our country. I never get any benefits where others do, right? I have to sacrifice, others don't. I never get called back for jobs. I have to put in applications that I'm white and I'm not a minority and blah blah blah. So I got to do all of this. And it's like, well, why? Well, because we give preferential treatment to minorities. But why is that? Why do we do that? Why am I, just because of who I was, born this way? Just born a white guy, man. I am dispossessed in my own country. And to say that is anathema to half the world. Because half the world isn't us, and half the world wants everything that we got. But the Lord has blessed us, and we're throwing it away. And all Trump is saying is, let's focus on Americans. And for a lot of people, that's like, whoa, everyone could be an American. But for Americans, everybody knows who an American is. And that's why, at the end of the day, I am faithful to my leader, Donald Trump. And I got exactly what I voted for.